Pat, the word incredible doesn't even cover it. This is some kind of a super year.
Well, Chick, based on the opinions of a lot of people back last April the 19th and throughout the summer, I think the players have really taken that criticism to heart. They really have worked hard at developing another attitude above and beyond just the natural motivation of wanting to do well. I think that comes out of the adversity of losing. And I think they have all tried to generally have a career best year. Obviously, Irvin Magic Johnson is leading the way. We have three other players and how we rate them that are having better years than they had last year. So I think the attitude of the team has created a situation where we are today, and I think the testimony of the players' attitude is the reason for that.
Who are the other two besides AC?
Well, AC Green, Byron Scott, Michael Cooper, and Kurt Rambis, along with Magic, are having better years, and how we rate them than they had last year. And Magic is by far and away having his career best year, and he is so far ahead of other players in the league that it's incredible. He's really leading the pack.
In fact, last night he simply took over the ball game.
Well, it makes me look good, doesn't it? I mean, I'm out there calling numbers, and he just sort of, don't worry, Coach, I'll take care of this. But his instincts this year as a scorer and reading the situation against teams, especially like Seattle, who flattened our offense out. We couldn't really execute anything in the fourth period because of their aggressiveness. And when it comes down to that, as it does in playoff games, you're not going to be able to run your plays that well. You need players like Irvin, like James Worthy, like Kareem that can create something. He did that for us last night.
Now, the last couple of nights, or three maybe, you've gone to an 8-man rotation. Is that pretty consistent with what you're thinking about playoffs?
Well, you do tighten up, Chick, and we have versatility. One of the problems that I do have is trying to find minutes for everybody. And I want to see Rambis out on the court with certain combination. I'd like to see Billy Thompson out there with the veteran players. But when you get in playoff situations, you've got about 5 players you're going to depend on, and the other 2 or 3 players are going to be very important in who you bring them in with. So I don't know how long I'd string the bench out in the playoffs, but I would say a tight 8-man rotation with a 9th man filling in as a spot player would be the way I'd go.
What has happened to AC Green? He's as different as day and night this year.
Maturity, and there's a sense in him right now that he's arrived. He is a willing player. He's very smart. He works harder than anybody that we have. And I think it's the maturity of on-court game action and the fact that I've shown confidence in him at the end of a game. And he's got the skills. Now he's just kicking his game up to another level. And the court time, I think, more than anything else, has helped his confidence.
You mentioned the fact that Magic and the others are making you look good. Pat, they don't have to make you look good. You are good. Your record speaks for itself. Heaven's sakes, each of the last 2 years, you won 62 games, and this year you're going to exceed that, I think. Marvelous, marvelous career.
Well, I'm proud of that record, Chick. I really am, but I've also learned with this team and the 6 years that I've been coaching that I feel more comfortable on the edge of the circle. Those 12 players that I coach and that are part of the Laker organization, the only thing I want to do is create an environment in which they can flourish, where they're happy, where they're productive. And if they're productive and they're playing well, then I think the natural course of events will take care of itself and the credit gets pushed on down the line. But they're the most important ingredients of this franchise, and they're out there producing, and it's the only thing I care about.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Riley, in his 6th year as head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, and very possibly down the road, just a couple of weeks or 3 months, whatever, another world championship. I know they'll be there trying for you, Pat.
Well, we're going to be there, and we're going to be hungry, too.
Ladies and gentlemen, the interview came your way, radio and television on the Lakers Basketball Network.